Morning. Good to see you all. So day 35. Here we go. We're going to continue discussing this concept of supernature and superposition and the value of creating a feigned competition against our instincts, because the underlying concept is it is our instincts, it is what we have inherited from our history as animals that makes being mindful very hard. So it's not you. It is what yogis would call karma. It is the karma of our species and the karma of an animalistic mind that is designed to be distracted and designed to be a little negative and judgmental. And so we're trying to override and rewrite this code pretty much. So before that, we're essentially learning exercises, and this is what this section of the challenge is about. You're learning sets of exercises that you can utilize to help you enter flow and in that springboard into a deep mindful state. So the first exercise is the game of keeping your spine tall, and the second exercise that we went over yesterday was the game of just breathing a bit slower than you're used to. And the next exercise will be Thich Nhat Hanh's sort of go-to strategy. As you breathe in and out, you just say, I'm aware I'm breathing in as you breathe in, and I'm aware I'm breathing out as you breathe out. The reason I'm highlighting all of these exercises is to show you that they are all very, very, very simple, but don't let their simplicity, don't let their simplicity trick you and think that they aren't meaningful or worthwhile. And so we're going to continue with breathing a bit slower than usual today. What I want to talk about now is back to Seth Godin, back to his concepts of marketing and some insights in marketing. The reason we can bring up any sort of subject in these conversations, even though they might seem disjointed from mindfulness, is because everything is life, and everything that a human being would speak about is really filtered through the mind. Everything is really a reflection of the human mind, whether it's business or marketing or art or philosophy or engineering. Everything is founded in the experience of our own thinking. And so he brings up cat food. And he says, why? And I ask you this, it's an interesting and funny little, stream of thought. Why is cat food named sort of turkey and gravy and sirloin beef and vegetables? Why these flavors? He's like, it's not for the cats. The cat wants birds and lizards. It's for us. And so cat food is really for us. What do we want? What do we want our cats to have that entices us and makes us think that our cat is eating something tasty? And the reason this is connected to our practice is because our concepts of life are the same. They are for us. Whether you think life is beautiful and ultra harmonic and working on your behalf, or whether you think life is this ferocious force working against you, or whether you think life is neutral, it has nothing to do with life and has everything to do with you and what you want life to be, so that you can come to terms with a truly ineffable and indescribable experience. Life is beyond us. Life is everything. Life is everything. Everything that we can consider it to be. And when we can start to grasp this, we can start to leverage life as being everything in our favor in terms of our practice. And so, life, as well as being a harmonic experience, as a force for good in our realities that might work to open paths, might work to promote our growth. It is also the force that is working against us. It is also the opponent. It is also the thing that stops us from being our best. And I'm highlighting this again and again and again because I imagine more than likely those of you that are here, those sorts of people that tend to lean into mindfulness, I think tend to want to believe life is pure harmony. And they work against the idea that life is actually also violent, an opponent, and a force for what we would call evil. And if we can work with this and sit down and as we meditate, understand that life is working against you in your practice, it promotes this willingness to compete against it, to stand apart, right? Supernature, this position outside of our instincts, this position of the personalized hero. And so we're creating this experience. Life is not what we think it is. Life is beyond that. Our thoughts of life are just to service us and make us feel comfortable with moving into the mystery of it. Cool. So that's pretty much it. We're going to move back into Joseph Goldstein's strategies to utilizing mindfulness, right? So, unhook from your reactions. Remember that term, unhook? Unhook from your concepts. And so that was the reason why I mentioned the cat food, unhook from your concepts of life as a purely benevolent force, truly touch in a quantumous mind. Maybe life is both good and bad. And of course it is, and it is neither, it is beyond that. We'll leverage life as being the opponent. And then the question is, how can I help? And so the practical application of this idea is you become a beautiful and compassionate and good person. And you function from this willingness to help others. But when you are in the reality of your practice, how can I help turns into how can I help myself? And in the context of these exercises, the answer is you can win. You can overcome your instincts. You can keep your spine tall despite your instinct to shrivel your spine. You can breathe a little bit slower despite your instincts to breathe a bit faster and a bit more shallowly. How can I help myself? I can win against nature. And this is all going to pull you into flow. And so for the next 24 minutes or so, I want you to fully immerse yourself in this game. It's not about being mindful. It's not about peace. It's not about meditation, whatever your concepts of that is or are. It's about lengthening your spine and breathing a bit slower. And every time, every second, every breath that you take where you are actually applying yourself to these strategies, I want you to feel that you are winning, that every second of a tall spine is a win. 1 point on the scoreboard. Every slower breath is a win. 1 point on the scoreboard. And by the end, if you collect all of these points and actually overcome this, you will find yourself deeply immersed in flow, right? And so from flow, you've released a drip of 5 neurochemicals, right? Norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and anandamide. And this is going to put your body literally in a different physiological state, a state that is designed for peak performance, peak thinking, peak connection. And from there, the concept, the absurdist concept of being more of where you already are will make sense, because you as sort of this biological computer, this mechanism for processing experience is now capable of grasping this timeless riddle, which is really sort of the journey of meditation. Meditation is this embodied quest to touch something that is deeply confounding when approached purely through the intellect. We have to enroll our whole bodies. We have to pull ourselves into a different physiological state. And then all of a sudden it makes sense, because again, as Albert Einstein sort of suggested, when we are presented with a problem, we need a higher order of thinking to solve that sort of problem. And mindfulness is that sort of problem. It's a question. Hence why most of us need challenges, and we need to read books, and we need teachers to resolve the curiosity of what we're talking about and what you're experiencing. Groovy, let's do it. Powerful seated position. And so again, just detailing, if you're sitting on the floor, you need this nice balance between tension in your body and relaxation in your body. So tighten your inner thighs, your adductors. Again, 10%, not much. And that's going to stabilize your foundation, your hips. If you're seated on a chair or a couch, sit at the edge of the chair or couch and just plant your legs and feet firmly into the ground. Again, stabilize the foundation. Now, wherever you are, lengthen your spine a little more. And so life is not good or bad. It is neither and both. And that sort of dualistic thinking, neither and both, all at once, is difficult for our rationality, but it is true. And so to experience this, I want you to acknowledge that you are torn between a desire to keep the spine tall, to overcome your instincts, to overcome nature. You want to do it. But at the same time, you would also enjoy not sitting so tall, relaxing, conserving energy, and fostering meekness. You want both, and in that you want neither. And that is the predicament of the human condition. And now slow your breath. Breathe a bit more deeply into the lungs, just a bit slower than you're used to. And notice how this creates a unique state of presence, a unique state of tranquility. That is in fact unnatural. Because the natural order of our world as living organisms is anxiousness. And the second you stop fixating on the breath, your breath will quicken. Your breath will become more shallow. And so all we are doing is playing a game. A set of exercises to induce flow to help us forget about ourselves and the world for 10 to 15 minutes. Every second of held posture, every breath breathed a bit more slowly, recognize that as a win. And help yourself by winning. By the end of this, your body will be in a different state, and mindfulness will make more sense as a lived experience. help yourself by winning. Help yourself by breathing slower than normal. Help yourself by sitting taller than usual. In that, become fully absorbed in supernature. That there is a part of you that is in control, a part of you that is uniquely aware, aware enough to break fundamental patterns. Not for the sake of breaking patterns, but for the sake of recognizing this part of you that is uniquely aware. remember Goldstein's two-step strategy. 1. Unhook from judgment. Don't analyze what you're doing. Just participate in the moment you find yourself in. Where you find yourself right now is a game. Unhook from judgment. Step 2. Ask, how can I help? You can help yourself by playing wholeheartedly. Merge with the game. It is a simple game. Merge with a tall spine and merge with the will to hold a tall spine. Let there be nothing else. Merge with a steady breath and the will to breathe a steady breath. Let there be nothing else. With your next exhale, casually exhale out the mouth, a symbolic gesture, and end the game. And from there, just listen. Whether your spine is tall or bent, whether your breath is slow or fast, whether you are at peace or anxious, you are in the now. And so feel that, hear it, sense it. There is nothing but the now. whether you believe you are where you need to be, or whether you feel you should be somewhere else, you are where you are. And mindfulness is about embracing that. The moment can be sweet, the moment can be bitter. But despite that, it is the moment. And the power of a mindfulness practitioner is the strength in making that choice to be with the moment as it is and as we think it is. The formal practice is over, but stay here 10 more breaths or 5 more minutes. Be with the present moment on purpose, non-judgmentally. No more games, just open presence.